Hello all, welcome to another session on AutoSAR series. So in this session I would like to give a brief introduction to what a protocol is. So before switching to a specific protocol, why we have a protocol. Alright. Okay, so here we have an image of a car inside which we can see different ECUs connected with cables between them. Yeah, so this is a group of ECUs. So there are many ECUs here and they are connected. So why they are connected? Because the ECUs have to communicate among themselves to perform a functionality, right? So if you can see, these are forming a network. So we can say this is a network of ECUs in the vehicle. Okay, so this is called a in-vehicle networking. The network of ECUs within the vehicle. Yeah, so for forming a kind of a web or network is called in-vehicle networking. So ECUs serving different functions in a vehicle are connected in the form of a network to communicate among them. Yeah, so they have to communicate and they communicate in the form of a network. Okay, so how this network was before having a proper bus communication system. Okay, so before having a bus communication system, each node in the network, say we have 5 nodes here in the network, each node is supposed to or expected to connect to another node one to one, point to point. So if node 1 wants to communicate with the node 2, it has to be communicated with the node 2, and similarly if it wants to communicate with node 3, it has to be connected through a separate cable. Yeah, so there is a one-to-one connection or point-to-point communication between any two nodes. Okay, so what is the disadvantages of this kind of networking? So this is quite obvious that it gets bulky. So as you have more ECUs, so the kind of cable that you need, the amount of connections increase. So eventually the bulkiness in the vehicle gets increased, and secondly it becomes very difficult to maintain these connections, and the communication maintaining the network will be very difficult and does not suit for evolving features in the car. You see, every year, every now and then, yeah, so the features expected by the ECU or the features expected by the car are increasing or ever evolving with new technologies coming up. So what it makes to the vehicle, so if the new features are added to the vehicle, it will need more ECUs to be implemented. If the number of ECUs is going to increase, and it becomes very difficult to maintain this bulky networks. Yeah, so to resolve this, bus-based communication has been invented. Communication through bus as a medium solves the disadvantages caused by point-to-point communication. Okay, so here you can see it is very simple, compact communication system. You have a single bus, single pair of cables where all nodes are connected through this same cable, so they can communicate across them with just one single cable. It avoids the point-to-point communication. Yeah, so this is a bus communication system, how compact it looks. Okay, so the communication types. So we know that bus communication is implemented in the vehicle, and there are two types of communication types which we have to see. One is asynchronous communication and the second one is synchronous communication. What is asynchronous communication? In asynchronous communication, data is not transmitted at regular intervals and does not use an external clock signal. Clocks at the transmitter and receiver does not run at the same rate. Okay, so there is no requirement to have a synchronization, or both the receiver and transmitter does not have to understand the clock rate at which the transmitter is sending, and the transmitter does not have to understand at what frequency the receiver is expecting the messages. Okay, so there is no common data transfer rate expected in asynchronous communication. Example for that is UART. Okay, so then synchronous communication, data is transmitted in a continuous stream at constant rate. The clocks in the transmitting and receiving devices are synchronized, running at the same rate. So basically in synchronous communication, the transmitter and receiver understand the rate of data transfer. Okay, say for example, if it is CAN protocol, they understand what is the speed, what is the rate at transmitter is sending, and what is the rate at receiver is able to receive. So there is a synchronization between the transmitter and the receiver in synchronous communication. Okay, now we will see the differences between asynchronous and synchronous communication. Synchronous communication requires clock synchronization between transmitter and receive. Asynchronous communication does not require the synchronization between transmitter and receiver. Data transmission happens in form of frames in synchronous communication, wherein asynchronous communication data transmission happens in form of byte or character. Synchronous communication is faster compared to asynchronous communication. Okay, so basically ECUs in the vehicle follow synchronous communication. So to both any two nodes in the network have to understand each other, have to understand the data transfer. So the ECUs in vehicle follow synchronous communication. For this synchronous communication to happen, there are different mechanisms which support the synchronous communication. Yeah, so there are different mechanisms that support synchronous communications based on their properties. Every mechanism has a different and its own property. Based on the properties of the mechanism, the synchronous communication is handled between two nodes. Okay, so then this brings us to a term called protocol. So what is a protocol? A protocol is a set of rules defining how communication shall happen through a particular medium. So if you have a medium which is in between the transmitter and receiver, how the communication should happen between these two nodes is decided by a protocol. Okay, the examples for protocol are SPI, CAN, LIN, FlexRay, Ethernet, etc. So if you see CAN protocol or FlexRay protocol, so for CAN protocol and FlexRay protocol, there are set of defined rules. Okay, so what is the length of the frame, what is the maximum speed that is supported by a protocol. So these all come under the properties of the protocol. Okay, so based on the needs and requirements of the ECUs in the network, the features that are supported by a particular ECU, this protocol, either CAN protocol, FlexRay protocol, or any one of these protocols is selected by the OEM, right? So this is a brief introduction on protocol. So I just wanted to give this overview what the protocol is before switching to a particular protocol. Okay, so this is all about this session. Until I come up with another session, bye, take care.